What's up and not so good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. I think I actually talked about this in my last video. We had some expected Santa Ana winds coming through here, and well, you can probably see from the trees behind me, they're here. And it's been a wild last like 24 hours, actually a little less than that. Yesterday afternoon, the power company cut our power. Now, when I was in Vegas, we got threats of power was gonna get cut because of winds. And there were actually some pretty gnarly winds that came through and they never cut power. So I kind of expected this time was gonna be the same. We've been getting a lot of warnings lately on the fact that power was gonna be cut, and it just never happened. Well, yesterday afternoon, they cut the power, and so I raced home, you know, gotta get the, all right, we're spotting some more damage here. We'll get to this in a second. Came home so I can get the generators, everything hooked up, everything running, keep my fridge good, keep my food good, and there was absolutely zero wind. And I was like, man, these guys must know something's coming, right? They wouldn't just cut power on a day that has zero wind, but they let power go on a day that had a lot of wind. And well, I think they forecasted some stuff coming. So we're gonna, this sucks. This ain't even the bad part. I mean, it's annoying that my shade cloth got ripped off. I just noticed that a minute ago. And because I'm filming right now, we're probably not gonna get the gusts of wind that are gonna show you guys really what's going on out here. So I've got a clip right now that we're gonna cut to that'll show you guys kind of just how gnarly it gets out here. I mean, obviously it's the dry season. Oh, blown away. It's the dry season right now. So it's gonna churn up a lot of dust, and you know, you're eating it in your teeth if you come outside. It gets in your eyes. I mean, obviously, again, we're gonna get to the pool in a second. This branch was down the last time I came out here and filmed, like 2 days ago, and I had mentioned how we're probably gonna lose more of this tree, not really thinking it was gonna be from the wind right away, but we have lost some pretty big limbs off of that, which took out part of that fence right there. At least it's in an area not where the animals are, so that's not an immediate fix. I really haven't gone around the entire property yet to check things out. Abel is here. Abel and Dmaxryno were up here yesterday. They were doing some fencing to keep the donkeys from coming into my grass section. And one of the things I had on this list of things to do while Abel and Dmaxryno are here was to anchor the patio cover down, because you know, the fact that it survived the storms while I was in SEMA, or the wind I should say, was very impressive to me. And I think I mentioned that in the last video. When I did the ranch walk around video, I was like, we need to probably anchor this thing down. And man, did not doing that bite me in the absolute butt. Dude, I'm so annoyed, so angry at this. I mean, it's my fault, right? We built that thing a long time ago. I should have anchored it down a long time ago. So coming over here, you can see, I mean, my grass area looks great, you know. Abel's been working hard over here. Abel's got some goggles on right now because the dust storm just comes up through here. It's gnarly. You can see we've got everything off of the patio, or the deck, I should say. And for good reason. Because, well, let's cut to a little clip of Abel was outside, and he comes knocking on my door, and he's like, oh, you gotta come out here. Ay, it was mucho heavy. Yeah. It may be un hoyo in the pool. Oh, there goes my hat. Ay. And yeah, look at what happened to the patio cover. So you can see, super gnarly. I don't really know how we got it out of the pool as successfully as we did. I mean, we used the tractor. I didn't even have time to grab a camera because like it just wanted to keep moving around. And I'm really hoping, but I have no idea as to whether or not we punctured the liner. And unfortunately, I just don't think there's any way to know until we notice that there's water, you know, the water level's going down in the pool, which that's a really crappy way to find out, because this, not that we can't replace this liner, but now that we built the deck around the pool, it is going to be an absolute nightmare to try to do. We don't want to do that. We're really hoping that didn't happen. Now, it took a lot of finagling, and we were able to get it. We were on this section of the deck, which obviously you can see is very skinny. We were having to like lay on it to keep it from becoming a sail and going God knows where on the other side of the property, because at that point it would be completely destroyed. I don't really know how destroyed it is right now. It's incredibly strong. You know, Dami Outdoors builds a hell of a patio cover to take flight and still be in pretty good shape. I think really just us moving it over to here has probably caused more damage than it taking flight. The posts are a little bit tweaked, but I think we can get those back in. We can anchor them down and those will be okay. Once we got it up here, we had to try to get it around the pool because this thing is basically the full width of the pool. But having these freaking pergolas that I decided were a great idea to build, they're lower than that foot. So I actually pulled that corner post off to try to get this over, and then I totally forgot that this corner post holds these two pieces together. So then this thing got all wonky and started fighting us. And again, like I mean, you could see behind me, like the wind is still heavily blowing. So you're really trying to put it back together, trying to move it, trying to not let it fly away. I mean, it was a solid 2 hours to get it out of the pool to here, and we now have it strapped down because there's really nothing we can do until this wind stops. I mean, there's just, number one, it might not be able to be like flipped over without destroying these legs. These things aren't meant to have all this weight on the leg and like we try to spin it. I don't have my excavator here. I don't really want to tear up my grass trying to get my excavator, you know, once I get it back to the ranch to try to, I don't really know. We have no idea what that move is going to look like. Just the fact that she is secure is about as far as we can get right now. So, dude, it sucks so bad. There's such a beautiful patio cover. I'm freaking hoping that it's not completely destroyed. This is a big span right here that's not meant to move the way that this thing moved. And then you can see the pool is obviously filthy from all of the dirt and debris and everything blowing up in here. So I've got the vacuum about to work overtime. Like I had mentioned earlier, we have no power. So currently running a couple of generators. We'll walk you through that. Obviously I should have a whole home generator by now, which I would have had right when I moved here, but my buddy, use that term very loosely, who is an electrician, was supposed to come out here and do it for me. I dug all of his foundation and stuff at his house. He was building a second home on his property so he can rent one out, make a bunch of money. I did all the work on his property for free because that's what friends do, in the exchange of like, hey, when I need a little bit of help, come help me. What did he do? I asked him if he can come help me install a whole home generator. He said I could pay him to learn how to do it. Yeah. That's where that friendship ended. That was not homies being homies. There was a couple more instances of stuff like that with that guy, but regardless, that's one of the main reasons I just never got around to doing the whole home generator. What we have now is, we've got the Honda 2000, which is running a couple of things. I've got my Anchor Solix, which this thing's really good because at nighttime, I want to not run generators. So I'll actually just charge this back up with the Honda. The Honda was struggling though. This thing takes some juice to charge it back up. But that big old monster will run, you know, my fridge, my internet, my TV, my freaking direct TV, all that stuff that I need to live pretty comfortably, lighting, all of that inside the house. So I've got that charged up. I will use that again tonight. And then inside I've got my little EcoFlow. And what he's doing is he is running my refrigerator, which, fun fact, I found out you can actually run these and charge them at the same time. I wish I had known that yesterday because I would have done that. But so this thing's actually currently powering the fridge and the Wi-Fi while getting charged back up. Once I have both of those battery systems charged up, that gets me through the entire night without needing to run the generators. But what I do have to run the generator for, you guys don't know, when you are on a well and you don't have city water, it takes power to obviously pull the water out of the ground, but you don't get water pressure without power. So one of the trade-offs, yes, you don't have to pay for water from the city, but you do have to pay for the electricity to generate your own water and build up pressure for your house. And we've got all the baby goats. We got all the animals are, well, I think the bigger ones are enjoying all the leaves that are falling off. The baby goats are a little scared, but also enjoying the leaves that fall off. So over here, we have the Predator 8750. I use this generator to run my well setup. So we have the well that draws water out of the ground, and we have the booster pump, which is what builds pressure for the house. So without that, all you have is a tiny trickle because our water tank is above the house, so it will gravity feed to the house, but it's not enough to shower on or anything like that. It's just enough to get a little trickle to like wash your hands in the sink. This one is running that. That's what's giving us our water pressure and all of that, while we have all the little stuff down at the house. The only thing about that generator is it's not remote start. So if you want to shower, if you want to shower at like 10 o'clock at night, you got to come all the way out here in the cold, dark wind, fire up the generator, get water pressure, go shower. Now you're all clean. You got to come back outside in the dust storm to go kill the power to that thing. So we're gonna have to upgrade at some point to one with remote start. We'll do a little test right now. I'm about to run into town and grab some fuel. Of course, I feel like that last video I made preempted all of this. We emptied all of my fuel supplies into the vehicles because we're like, well, let's start up these vehicles. That'll be, you know, let's put some fresh fuel into all of them. The dump truck, the mini truck. Used up all of my fuel that I needed for the generators. So we're gonna run into town, fill up, get a bunch of fuel. On top of talking about tree limbs falling, on top of talking about the patio cover being pretty, I mean, I feel like I'm at blame for a lot of this going on, but let's just see what our normal wind is right now. Not gusty. All right, you know, five miles an hour, somewhere around there. Not too bad. 71 degrees though, you know, that's fantastic. Of course, because we're filming right now, we're not gonna get a gust measured on this thing. Maybe I just need to keep this thing out and film it while we go to flip the patio cover over, because then there'll be no wind. Oh, we got 8 miles an hour. It's all 8. Oh, we're picking up 9, 10, 11. That's really nothing. Everybody in Florida watching this is like, yeah, try 150 mile an hour, cat 5, whatever it is, 120, 130. We'll pull this out again when the gusts kick up. But for right now, we're gonna run into town, grab some fuel, we're gonna grab some lumber, and then, well, I guess we might as well get some work done because I'm staying here for the day to keep an eye on this place. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned it in this video or not already, but we are forecasted to not have power for 4 days, which means they're anticipating 4 days of this wind. Hopefully this passes sooner, but no power for 4 days. This is gonna be interesting. That's the most we've gone without power since the fire, where I think we went 2 weeks without power. Normally we go for like a couple hours here and there, if that. We got the neighbors' trash cans all hunkered down like they're, you know, in a trench in war. There are a ton of massive oaks lining the road to the ranch. I mean, obviously in years past, a lot of limbs have fallen, so just trying to take tally if I've noticed anything new down. Thankfully, we don't have any that have fallen on the road. This area right here with all of these tree arches has always worried me. When the big storms come through, I do not like driving up underneath these bad boys. Now, you know what's annoying? I've driven about a mile, maybe a little over a mile from the ranch, and there's just zero wind. It's as calm as can be, not a single leaf out of place. Well, $104 later, we've got 4 cans of some of the good stuff. Hopefully this lasts me, what do we need? 3.5 more days at this point? I think we'll be all right. The generators are pretty efficient. Most of the stuff, again, is the Honda 2000, which trickles through fuel pretty slowly, and then running the batteries at night. The big one, the Harbor Freight Predator, I think that's got like an 8 or 9 gallon tank. That one eats fuel a little bit quicker, but obviously it's producing way more power. But again, I only need that to really shower and, like, you know, get some water back to the toilet. Well, now that we are back to the ranch, of course, well, the winds have died down. Forgot how bad that looked. It's been gone for a couple of hours. This poor pool vacuum, it's got its work cut out for it. I mean, there's just so much dirt. You can see the color difference from where it's vacuumed to where it hasn't. This corner over here is super filthy. This thing's gonna be working overtime. I've got the pool pump and the vacuum hooked up to the generator right now as well, because with this much organic matter in here, that's how we can end up losing this pool water if we don't have the pump running and circulating and all that. So burning significantly more fuel now with that old little Honda 2000 than I had anticipated because of running the pool pump as well. But we've got Dmaxryno back out here with Abel. They're working on putting this little fencing in. Again, this was to keep the donkeys out because they got up here and just completely, you know, they probably thought they were aerating my grass, but they just made it so dang lumpy because they're so heavy, and the grass, it's pretty soft, it's kind of mushy. So we need to permanently keep them out. So we've got this post going in, and then we're just gonna mimic the fence that is alongside, you know, well, everywhere, I guess at this point. All the white fencing, nice white fencing. Now, when we did all the fencing around the house, I built this template because we wanted to go 2x6, 2x4, 2x6, 2x4. And so we've held on to this template, which means anytime we go to build fencing now, we just slap this template in. It holds all of our boards exactly at the height that we want. And then we know we're always consistent with the style of fencing and the look that I was going for around the house and around the rest of the property. Well, not the rest of the property, that's all 3 2x4s around the rest of the property, but that's like, you know, 50 grand in 2x4s to replace that one. We'll do that as we, as it breaks. Now you may be wondering, Ryno, where's your Harbor Freight Hercules saw? It's at the restaurant, but I wish I had it here now, because this thing, I mean, granted, this one fell off of some scaffolding. Oh, but this saw is just rough. And then the sliding doesn't really slide much anymore. That's kind of about where your range of motion you have right there is about that 1 inch or so. And then this is just, everything just feels gritty about it. Pulled the vacuum filter out to see how bad it is in there. And as you can see, all the caca that's coming out. So clean out these fins a little bit, give her a little more of a fighting chance against this dirt. All right, buddy, back to work you go. Also, if you guys are watching this, never buy a corded pool vacuum. This thing on. I've put pool noodles on the cable. I've tried everything to get this from not tangling up. Doesn't go more than a day, maybe, without tangling itself up. And then it tangles itself up so tight that it just stays in one spot because it can't pull the tangle out. So you can kind of see where it already was staying. It was just right here. Because I just had to go through and untangle the cord all the way right now. And while the wind had died down as soon as I got back, but it is starting to pick back up again. I'm assuming we're gonna be in for another long night of some wind kicking up. What do you think, horse? You think we're gonna make it? I think we'll make it. You think the patio cover is gonna be okay? You like laying underneath that thing. Alrighty, well the fence is pretty much done. We just gotta paint that, but we're gonna do that tomorrow, assuming we don't get sandblasted again like we did today. Let's get the animals some water. We're probably gonna have to go fire up the generator because I think we're a little above the water tank up here, but let's see what happens. We'll still have a little bit of pressure until the pressure tank bleeds off over there down by the well. But we'll make sure they're all taken care of. We actually need to get the boys over here castrated. They got some hefty huevos on them. And they're starting to get a little interested in the ladies, and we don't want that, so that's gotta happen like ASAP. And then we think one of the donkeys might have got this boy right here. He has a little nip out of him. You can see right there, it's dried up pretty good. Get a little closer right there, so we're not really sure what happened, but oh, you want to show me up closer? All right. But if I had to guess, from where I've seen donkeys try to bite animals, it's usually on the back of the neck because they want to kill them. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Where are you going? That's just a brush. Want me to use it on you? Does that feel good? Oh, does that feel good? You all want it? There you go. Watch out for your cut. I don't want to hit your cut. That's a very stiff brush. That's probably not that great for you. But you are definitely interested, aren't you? Oh, okay, you're gonna scratch yourself with it. That's pretty smart. You're pretty smart there. Does that feel good? Don't get that in your eye. You both want to scratch yourself with it? Oh, you just want to eat it. Okay. Might be time for me to go to Home Depot, get you guys a couple of brushes, mount them up here so you guys can... Oh, and you took it off. What are you gonna do with it now? That was it? That's all you cared about? Now it's not fun? Not a fun toy anymore? We actually have a lot of water pressure. It's kind of surprising for that generator not being on down there. I have so much dirt and dust in my eyes right now, but hey, the fence looks great. Donkeys aren't gonna ruin my grass anymore. Rhino and Abel, tomorrow they're gonna build a set of steps going down there. I'm gonna be back at the restaurant. Today wasn't even a day I should have taken off to deal with all of this stuff. So check this out. Maybe you guys have more insight to this than I do. I'm over here next to my solar inverter and my setup. Don't mind all of these. These were like old camera wires that we took down when we put up new cameras. But from my understanding, I don't know how this is lit up right now. I guess we have 0.05 kilowatts coming in because the sun is, you can see, is pretty much set behind me. But these inverters require 120 volts to run to convert the solar to power the house, right? Something like that. There is this outlet down here though that I've always kind of wondered about, and it has a switch on it. I've always wondered if I can feed this with my generator, if that'll put in the 120 I need to have the solar actually work during the day. Let me know if you guys have any insight to that. I mean, right now it's saying, well, check AC circuit breaker, grid failure, which obviously we know. We have no grid power coming into this thing. But yeah, I've always been curious if that's something I can do, and how do I do that without blowing this system up? We've got the disconnect there. I'm assuming this is some type of power source right now, son. I'm assuming this is some other type of disconnect, but what is this booger doing right there? Also, because I'm curious, we're gonna take the mini truck around the property right now. Let's just go see, while we have a little bit of daylight left, what kind of damage we're looking at, and if we lost any other tree limbs or anything. I forgot how rad this little mini truck is, although I wish I had significantly more leg room in this thing. All right, let's go down into the tree line section. This is where things are gonna fall. This is probably where they're gonna fall. And you all may recall when we did the video about this tree falling, that wasn't even a windy day. This thing, obviously it's dead, but it just gave out one day. But it doesn't look like anything else fell. I feel like at this point, our only casualty was a dang patio cover. It was my own negligence. That was the casualty today, was my negligence. Gotta stop putting projects off. We'll head on down to this section, which again is kind of really the only other place with the big trees other than near the house, but we've already seen that those are okay. I believe that limb fell off a while ago, so that one's good, but everything looks pretty dang good. You know, we spend a lot of time trimming these trees, pruning everything, trying to take care of the property, and I think it definitely benefited us today. I just got another peek at the carport that looks, I mean, it looked kind of ghetto with my shade cloth. You can see it probably right there, but now it just looks even more ghetto with half a shade cloth hanging off of it. So, guess we're bumping up on the priority list, walling that thing off. Well, y'all, that's pretty much a wrap on this wild day that I did not have planned. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I think I've got some on how we can flip this thing over, because if we pick it up sideways and put all the weight on these legs, right, and now we have it, you know, basically flipped 90 degrees from where it's at, but then we go to pick it up again, these legs are just gonna buckle. If you try to put all the weight of this thing on these legs, I mean, it's aluminum into aluminum. They're gonna buckle. So we almost have to completely pick the thing up, flip it in midair, and then set it back down without putting any weird lateral or side pressure onto these legs. And it's just really tall and awkward. I don't know how we successfully do that without like a freaking pettibone or a long reach forklift or a crane or I don't know. If you guys got any ideas, let me know down in the comment section, because I'm feeling by the time this video goes out, that thing's not gonna be flipped yet. It is strapped to the deck. I don't know if you guys saw that earlier, but we've got 2 straps on these front corners running underneath the deck, and then we've got that big green one right there that runs all the way across the back. But hey, I'm gonna go fire up the pump house generator so I can take a shower and batten down the hatches and get ready for another night. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. You never know what you're gonna get with these videos. You know, I don't really plan a whole lot of content, as you guys can tell. If you guys would, do me a favor, check out workfortapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it and stop putting projects off. Y'all are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.